Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Um, it is topic time. The anticipated topic that everybody, I really do believe, is talking about and is buzzing around the state of Michigan, and that is the new proposed baiting law. Um, that's it's going to spark some controversy. It's gonna, some people are like this, and some people are like this. Um, but me, I'm kind of right down the middle, and I'll tell you why. I can't sit here and talk to you and say no, no, no to baiting when I shot my very first deer over bait. Me and Dad used to bait all the time in public land, um, but now, in um, since baiting has been, you know, illegal, um, it's just I can see some people are just kind of losing their interest in it. So we're going to talk about this little this little topic, so to say, if you will. So, in 2018, they banned baiting in the lower peninsula of Michigan. In the upper peninsula, you are still able to bait. Now, in 2018, like I said, they banned the baiting for CWD reasons, chronic waste disease for deer. And to be honest with you guys, it really didn't matter to me. Um, it's some people were not happy about it, and then some other people were like, finally, because when I shot my first deer over bait, it was not a big deer at all. It was it was just it was just a doe. Um, I harvested her probably about 70 yards away with the 30-06. Um, but I can it, it it'll help the deer herd, in my opinion, because when you have, you know, subordinate bucks and does and fawns um, hitting the bait pile and not really knowing what can come of it, um, I feel like some deer do get harvested too early in life. Um, I shot my first deer, like I said, it was just a doe, but it was a small doe. But that when that happened, it set the hook of the hunting sport in me, and I feel like that is the more important part, here at Michigan Boneheads Outdoors, is that we want to do anything in our part to get more people involved into the sport. And if that means that you want to bait, well then by all means go and bait. If you don't want to bait, then don't bait. So the new proposed law is that if you buy a $20 tag or a 20 extra dollar baiting license, um, the CWD thing kind of goes away. Okay, but like I said, you buy the $20 um, license, baiting license, and then you are only able to take 5 gallons of bait out per day. To be honest with you, I don't know how the DNR especially, is going to make sure that everybody is taking out 5 gallons of bait per day. I feel like, in my opinion, that is somehow impossible to track. I mean, how many bow hunters alone are going to be out the woods October 1st? You know, how many people are going to be out prior to October 1st putting out bait? You know, there's, you know, you're going to have 24/7 round the clock, you know, security, so to say, you know, to make sure that nobody's going over the baiting limit. And I feel that's there's just no possible way that the DNR could possibly do that. Um, I feel like it's more of a profitable thing. You know, here we are, like I said, in 2018 they banned it. 2025, so it's okay. We can just, you know, if you just buy the license, then it's just, and to me, it just, there's just things that just don't add up to this. But me, I'm mutual. As I said before, I reside in Houston, Texas. There's really no reason for me to bait, you know, in Michigan. I'm 1,300 miles away. Do you really think that I'm going to be doing that every day just to drop five 5 gallons of bait? You know, for me, it's just it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Dad does live in Michigan, but you know, for even for him, he's almost 2 hours away. You know, I don't expect him to take bait out for not only his spots, but for my spots as well. Yes, I said spots in plural, and do that every single day and drive 2 hours there, drop bait, and then drive 2 hours back. That's There's just no way. So for me, for us, it's like I said, we're just mutual with it. Now the residents that are there, that live there, then this is a big thing. You know, I've kind of seen the decline into the sport since they banned baiting, because baiting in Michigan is kind of like a tradition. When I went to school, I'm sorry, the first day of rifle season, we had off. Nobody went to school that day. It's like a national holiday. You know, rifle season up there is a national holiday. But maybe in your state, it's the same thing. But for us, I mean, there was even teachers that didn't even show up. I mean, we were we were that invested into deer hunting. But you know, since 2018, I saw like a decline into the sport. So when you have a decline into the sport, what happens is that the deer population goes up. What happens when the deer population goes up? You know, more chances of diseases, more chances of, um, just, car accidents, just more chances of you know, crop damage. You know, it's just, there's a whole bunch of different things that when the population of deer is sky high and the hunters are so low, there needs to be something done. They did pass to where you can actually rifle hunt during most of the loader season for Michigan. And when I feel like the DNR does know that, the population is getting just too high. We have an abundance of deer in Michigan. I mean, dude, there's no problem with the deer herd and, just seeing deer. I mean, you'll see a whole bunch of deer, but I feel like the quality of deer is kind of down compared to like other states. Like your Iowas and Ohio's and Pike County, Illinois and Kansas and all the big time heavy hitter states. You know, is ours is if you shoot a 120 class deer in Michigan, you kind of pulled something off. Especially if you did that on public land. That's bragging rights right there, for sure. And if you do that in like a relatively consistent basis, let's say you shoot one this year, kind of skip a year and then you shoot another 120. Dude, you're a bad hunter, man, in my opinion, because Michigan is just such a heavily hunted state. But I even seen the decline into the sport once they banned the baiting law in 2018. So, like I said, I don't want to be hypocritical because I shot my first deer over bait. But at the same time, I kind of want Michigan to get on the map a little bit here, like the Kansas and Iowas and Ohio's, and you know, we have that untapped potential for deer to grow to maturity, you know, because everybody knows it. I mean, I'm just going to put it all out there. Everybody knows that when rifle season comes around in Michigan, it is just Orange Army galore. I mean, I think Dad can probably tell you this better than I can, but there was one time that this guy said he shot a monster button buck. How is this a monster? A monster button buck. I have never heard of that a day in my life. You know, that deer had no chance, you know, compared to somebody else. You know, maybe there's people that just stock in the freezer. Go, by all means, do it. Get into the sport, get involved, you know. But that's why I'm just kind of on the fence about it, you know. Like I said, it doesn't really pertain to me because I'm not going to bait. But you know, I do want people to get into the sport. I want people to get involved, you know. And if baiting is going to do that for the state of Michigan, then do it. If you know if baiting is going to get more young ones into the sport and get them hooked like I got hooked, then do it. You know, is it going to get some people that haven't been deer hunting in a couple of years because of the baiting law? You know, because of the the bait thing was banned in 2018. Now in 2025, they're proposing to get rid of it. Do it. You know, me personally, it doesn't matter. And I feel like that, and I feel like that's how it should be. Is on a personal, you know, opinion. If you don't want to bait, then don't bait. If you want to bait, you should be able to bait. It's simple as that. So I don't know, guys. I want to read I want to see your guys' opinion on this. If you can drop some comments and stuff like that, I really want to. And this baiting thing is not just in Michigan. I mean, half the country is, you know, they banned baiting. You know, so I want to hear your guys' you know laws over in different states as well. You know, are you guys having the same issues, or you know, is it just, you know, what? How do you think the DNR should be taking care of it? Um, you know, so I'd be really intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. So, like I said, that's the big old topic for today. Um, it's, you know, like I said, in my opinion, it really doesn't matter. Do I want to see a better age class of deer? Yes. But do I want to see more hunters involved into the sport? Absolutely. So it's, you know, maybe I should put my own personal, you know, stuff aside and look at it as a whole. You know, was this going to be able to get more people involved in the sport? And if so, then I am 1000% backing the baiting. So, but like I said, I want to hear from you guys. So drop some comments down and let me know. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You know, any followers or anything like that would be greatly appreciated. So till then, guys, keep bringing traditions back home and just watch out for the next video.